Smiley was another new face to the Baddies universe. She's from Miami, Florida, and auditioned for a spot on the show. During the audition process, she found herself getting into an altercation with another girl who turned out to be Mariah Lynn's sister. She ended up getting carried out of the auditions and did not receive a ticket. Before Smiley could even make it to the show, she was making noise on the internet streets. Her and Mariah Lynn ran into each other in Miami. Mariah remembered her as the girl who fought her sister, and they got into it. Smiley ended up snatching Mariah's chain and wig, posting it online for everyone to see, which kept this beef going. Now remember, Smiley didn't get a ticket at the audition, but she did not give up. Nally finally decided to give Smiley a chance after Smiley kept popping up at events that the Baddies were hosting, calling Nally's phone, and even getting Nally's name tattooed on her. The first time Smiley made it to set, her and Mariah got into a fight because Mariah wanted to check Smiley once again about putting her hands on her little sister. After 3 rounds and Mariah losing her wig and gaining some scratches, they let it go for now. Nally did sit and talk to Smiley to find out how this girl kept finding out where they would be at all the time. Smiley told Nally that she was tapped in on the black market and could get any information that she wanted. As for the tattoo, Smiley says it was just a henna that she saw and decided to troll them. For the most part of the show, Smiley did keep a pretty low profile, but when she wanted to make a splash, she definitely knew how to do that. Day when the girls went to have fun at the go-kart place, they get a call from Smiley saying that she was in the hospital having a miscarriage. This confused the group because 1, they did not know she was pregnant, 2, she was smiling about the situation, and 3, she showed up to the go-kart place later on that night like nothing happened. This became her first controversial moment of the season, tearing apart the audience as many debated online about the situation. Even though Smiley seemed to be shunned a lot of time by Group A, she still always wanted the 2 groups to be around each other and have a good time. High hopes for Smiley because the next time the groups got back together, Smiley was in the hot seat again. Smiley decided to be the one to pop off the conversation that everyone's been whispering about. Did Smiley actually suffer a miscarriage? Rolly says that there are so many inconsistent things in the story she keeps telling the group. Smiley says that her boyfriend is locked up and they have been overcoming a pill addiction. She admits to not paying attention to her body, and even though she felt she may be pregnant, she did not want to miss out on the opportunities to be on Baddies, so she chose to ignore it. Suki decided to step in as she was over the questioning of Smiley's reproductive system. She wanted to understand why Smiley felt the need to call her phone telling her about snatching Mariah's chain. Suki felt that Smiley was checking her, and since she wanted to be a bully, she was about to be bullied and had to come up off that chain. Smiley more focused on Suki because that was never her intention to make it seem like she was checking her, gets water thrown on her by Rolly. When she went to handle Rolly, she was snubbed by Mariah Lynn. The mayhem starts as the girls are screaming and cheering Mariah on to get her chain back. At the next stop, Smiley still didn't get a break. Sapphire caught wind of Smiley being online saying that they had jumped her the other night, which pissed her and Suki off. Smiley did not want to fight Sapphire, but was pressured by Nally to either fight or go home, so she fought. Smiley could not enjoy her time in the club either. She ended up getting into a fight with Mariah and her little sister during one of the club appearances. The next day, Smiley still was on the shit list when word got back to Mariah that after the fight, Smiley was saying she was going to have Mariah's family followed. House A went to House B so Mariah could check her and for them to give her an eviction notice because they no longer wanted her around. This is wild because she was not even in the same house as you guys, so y'all literally came to House B to evict somebody who lived with them. Shouldn't that have been up to the girls who was already in that house with her if she should leave or not? The last dinner in the States, Smiley found herself also on Suki's list of girls who should go home. Suki felt that Smiley and Biggie was the show since that's all everybody ever talked about. This turned the heat back on Smiley, and Anna decided that she now wanted to fight Smiley. Smiley's baddie journey hit rock bottom when she made it to Jamaica. The girls was heading out for a day in the sun, and of course, in true house beat fashions, they were on the Sprinter, taking shots and having a good time. Now, Smiley has been known to not be much of a drinker in the house, but today she decided that she would join in on the drinking and got a bit too turned up. When they got to the spot, Smiley had gotten too drunk and became very incoherent before she finally passed out on the bus. For the first time, House A and B joined together to try and get Smiley some help, but that was short-lived when they realized that Smiley only had about 3 to 4 shots and felt that she would fake it once again to get attention. Nally, overhearing the girl's insensitive comments, gets upset and checks the girl for not having empathy for Smiley at this time. Smiley did go to the hospital, but declined to get any medical attention. She said that she has always have seizures and chalked the rest of it up to her just getting too drunk. Word got back to Nally about Smiley declining medical treatment and will be at dinner with them later that night. Nally immediately got pissed off as she feels Smiley just played in their face again. Smiley entered dinner at the height of Nally's and Scotty's fight. Nally immediately turned her attention to Smiley to check her on what happened earlier that afternoon, because she wanted answers. Smiley played confused on what Nally was even talking about, so Anna pulled out her phone to show her exactly what everybody was upset about. Taseki, who originally wanted to fight Smiley for lying, told her to just go home, but when Smiley turned to leave, Nally told her, "Oh, you're not going anywhere." Nally continued to cuss Smiley out, and E.T. took the moment and poured water on Smiley. At this point, Smiley had had enough and decided to leave the show. Smiley entered Big E's dressing room excited about being back around all the girls, but her smile quickly faded away when Big E confronted her for not jumping in and fighting E.T. and Rolly when they tried to put them off the show. Smiley felt like, "Who are you to tell me what to do?" This angered Biggie, and she slapped Smiley, leaving her confused and wigless. Smiley decided to go back to her dressing room where she decided to kick and punch mirrors and TVs out of anger, and leaving her having to go on stage with her hand bandaged up and in a sling. Now, a lot of the cast members defended Smiley's actions, saying that she just takes things a little too far sometimes, but she never meant any harm. But Janisa, the host, was not having that, calling Smiley an internet troll. When asked what was her intentions today at the reunion, Smiley says, "I come to get my chain back." Mariah tells her, "Well, I don't have it," and they begin to fight. Smiley and Mariah went 2 rounds before Smiley's injured hand began to hurt too much, and she left the stage to seek medical attention. By the end of the reunion, Smiley did return back to the stage, and her and Mariah called a truce and let the beef go. Now, the list of things to ask Smiley might take up half the reunion, so I'm only going to ask the main things. One thing I would want to know is Smiley regret coming on the show after she found out that she was pregnant? And why did she decide to stay on this show after suffering her miscarriage? I will also want to dive deeper into her overcoming her pill addiction, as I feel like a lot of the girls probably do struggle from some type of drug abuse, and that would have opened up a very good conversation on the show. Also, what really happened to her in Jamaica, and do she regret some of the actions that she took on the show? Now, Smiley definitely kept us on our toes this season, but something about Smiley makes me feel this is just not the right environment for her. I'm going to need them to decline bringing her back for another season because Smiley definitely needs some healing.